Hey guys, Wolvie here, and this is the October character spotlight / quick tips video for the City of Final Fantasy Opera Omnia Global for the 5th of October 2020, and you may have heard this by now, and this one's going to be on Serah, Farron, Final Fantasy 13 2. Now, I will have a few spoilers here, just so you guys are warned. First and foremost, Serah does have an LD out on JP. She also has an 80/80 awakening. She does not have a secondary rework. So that's part one. Part two, as I've said before in recent videos, this is going to be a two-parter. This is just part one where we go over her kit, what she can do, that sort of thing. Now, for this video, towards the end, I will be going into predictions as to where they could go with a secondary rework, and probably go into a theory if she is to get a burst weapon down the line. Third, she is a part of the Cursed 6, meaning that she needs certain artifact passives. Fortunately for my Serah, I am 3 out of 3 in that department, so I'll probably just, do that long press to give you one pair of what exactly it is and why she desperately needs it. Finally, with part two, I'm going to be going into the Dissidia database website directly, and we're going to go look at her stat grid, figure out, is she even meant to be a damage dealer? Or is she meant to be another role? Because with the LD that's on JP, the JP developers were given heat, because with what the LD does, and I saw footage, and I just can't help but scratch my head at it, but there's a lot of questions going on with that. Now, with the usual disclaimer, this is going to be my opinion only. I will be referring to information from the Dissidia database website, so I'll have a link to that website in the description below. And this is not only for part 1, but also for part 2, so I'm going to meet you all at the home screen, so I will be back. Oh, and one last thing before I take another pause is that she does have her character lines for the most part on global, so again, that's that on that, so I'll be back. Serah, Farron for Final Fantasy 13 2, as you see here. Now, I did forget to mention at the beginning that she actually does have her alternate costume out on JP, so this is probably going to be one of those where it comes out as intended. And when Serah gets her LD, it's around the time that Y'shtola from Final Fantasy 14 gets her burst LD at a second rework. So around that time when Y'shtola gets her best gear, Serah gets her LD. Again, she does not have a secondary rework, but she does have her 80/80 awakening on JP. So with that, we're going to jump into the lines here. So you're going to see you got 1, 2, 3, 4... Okay, so looks like she has 6 years, so yeah, I'll explain that at the very end. So we have here the following skills that she has right now. We have your skill 1, which is Wound. Skill 2 is Moonlight. Her EX ability is called Ultimate Arrow. Her additional ability is All Advance. Now, All Advance is pretty much increasing the overflow limit. I forgot the exact percentage, but yeah. So the thing is, the way Serah works is that she's one of those units you really need to keep an eye on varying things. Meaning that the duration of the buffs she grants to the party, the duration of the debuffs she inflicts on the enemies, because she has ways to inflict debuffs, that sort of thing. So you have to really keep an eye on both aspects, because the durations is not of either the buffs or the debuffs. They don't last very long, so you might be forcing Serah to pop off her skills in a freaking hurry. So, and the thing is, again, she is a member of the Cursed 6, meaning that what the Cursed 6 are, these are 6 units where they need they need certain passives. So I'm going to just do a long press on one of mine. So basically these are Serah's cursed arts, and she needs 3 exact copies of this. So you have here ulti buff attack boost 2 stars and charged moonlight boost 2 stars. So for the ulti buff attack boost, this is what happens when an enemy is debuffed. raises party's max bravery and attack by 10%, while an enemy is debuffed. Now for Charged Moonlight boost 2 stars, this has a raise to her own max bravery by 20% and gives her 1 additional use of her skill to Moonlight. So pretty much she needs 3 copies of this, but again, the whole thing, the way she works is that you have to keep a very, very close eye on her on the buffs and debuffs that she has, because when it comes to close to running out, you might want to reapply. Alternatively, though, she could work, as not doing debuffs, inflicting debuffs at all. And the reason why that is that if you pair her up with certain other units, like let's just say you put her up with Kefka, you have Kefka in the role as debuff, and Serah supports him that way, meaning that he has those, and this is a bit of a spoiler here, so Kefka, he does get a second rework this month on Global. His unframed buffs become framed, so it's one of those where it's like, if you have all Kefka's debuffs up and running, you have him in the same composition as Serah. Believe it or not, Serah can work with Kefka here because he could be like the DPS debuffer, and she's the one that can support her. That's one situation. Now, another situation where she could work where she's not really inflicting debuffs is with Emmett Italian. They have some really strong debuffs in my personal opinion because the framed ones they have last a good amount of time. So that means, and the reason why I bring up these 2 units in as primary examples is because if they're the one, since they have those debuffs already on the opponent, that means the debuff attack boost is already applied right out of the gate. So this especially helps. So with Serah, it's she's one of those units where you have to question yourself, is she really meant to be a damage dealer or is she more meant for support? So it's one of those yeah. But the thing is, when it comes to again, the team composition, she's one of those where you might as well not have her as a damage dealer. You want to have her, being supporting somebody else. But again, with the way you use her skills, it's you might want to keep a very close eye on the duration of the buffs and debuffs, because that way, if it's shorter to be running out, and again, this is why she does work with Kefka and Italian, is because you have some of Kefka's debuffs, those have a shorter duration, so once that duration is gone, Serah can jump in, get some of those debuffs, varying her own debuffs on until Kefka can reapply. So that's the way those 2 can work well together. Same thing with Emmett Italian and Serah. It's just you have one of their debuffs gone, Serah can help with the real application. So that way, she's bringing out the best in others. Now, with the Ultimate Era, hey, it's pretty damn good for what it does. Because if the brave hits are on one person, but everybody gets the same amount of damage, and it's AoE total. So, with that bit out of the way, again, she does have her LD on JP. She also has her 80/80 Awakening on JP, but she does not have a second rework, and she's one of those units who actually needs one. So, with that bit out of the way, how could her second rework improve her? Well, again, we do know she is a member of the Cursed 6, meaning that she needs 3 copies of the Cursed Arts. And for Serah's case, I'm going to show it again. So this is the Cursed Arts that she needs 3 copies of. And keep in mind of the CP cost. I got kind of lucky here. I got 12, 12, and 8 in mind. So she needs something like that. So when it comes down to the secondary rework, where could they go? So they have a plethora of options with Serah. Now, option 1 could mean, and I'm going to go back into the artifact passive, so this could be a bit of an area of focus for a little bit here. So the reason why I put this up here right now is that we're going to be, because there's something coming along to Global in the future where the number of artifact passes available for each character We'll go up to 7 because we're currently at 5. Now, we do know, again, it's going to go up to 7 of available. So, and this is where the angle is based on the additional 2 slots for the artifact passives. Now, if at some point in time for the game, Global and JP were to add in another quality of life where instead of having 3 artifact passives available to use, they up it to 5. Now, this will help Serah's longevity immensely. Because, again, you already have the 3 copies of her cursed arts, and you get another 2. So, in the future where they do something like that, where they give the characters 5 artifact passives to, like, they can equip, this will help Serah immensely because the number of uses for Moonlight go from 10 to 12. Because you have your... And you guys know why I say that. So, one route is up the number of cursed artifact passives a character can be equipped with from 3 to 5. This will help with longevity because she's got more uses of Moonlight to spare. And it helps with the max bravery and attack stats. Believe it or not. And this is a reiteration of the exact percentages. So, having 5 artifact passive slots that could be equipped, having 2 more of these will help Serah immensely because you have a max bravery raise on the Moonlight boost at 100% instead of 60. Now, with the all debuff attack boost, again, let's just say they're allowing characters to be equipped with 5, and you manage to get another 2 more copies of the all debuff, this type of pairing. So, for the max bravery and attack, so it goes from 30% to 50%. This is something that Serah really needs. The whole change into the artifacts passive system, and especially with one where you get 5 slots instead of 3. This helps with the longevity immensely. Now, another aspect of the longevity that could really help Serah is with the skills itself. So with Wound and Moonlight, she does have some bravery to the party, but she really needs it for herself as well. Now, the way she works right now on Global and even on JP, a part of me does understand the whole fact that, she's very sacrificial, putting others ahead of herself. But it doesn't hurt for Serah to be selfish every now and then, so she does need some quote-unquote cash back, meaning that you pop off either skill 1 or skill 2, she gets some cash back as well. It's not just, and this is on top of the bravery she gives to the Now, with that, so I could see, more uses of Moonlight via another working to the cursed arts. Now, with the buffs and debuffs, we need some more potency there even further. Meaning that if the debuff she inflicts, I would like to see some more potency there. I want to see some more potency with the buffs she grants, because the duration is not good. And the better the duration, the less likely she's going to be relying on her skills. Now, with her LD, like I said, I know how it works. And it doesn't make her as reliant on some of her skills on paper. But I do hope to see the LD do an HP attack twice. Because she does one thing, but she pauses and then does something else. And the HP damage is at the very end. So I really want to see the LD to do the HP damage twice. Now, for Wound, I'm going to do something specific here. I do hope to see more uses of this, maybe 1 or 2 more uses, again, to help with the longevity, because right now, even on JP, she sucks. That's all there is to it. And then with the Cursed Arts, she's not one of those units where it's like, she's absolute meta, but right now at JP, she's fallen off completely. And it's going to take a secondary rework to fix that. So again, to reiterate, so the month of November, the November character spotlight will be Leon from Final Fantasy II, and the December character spotlight is actually a bit of a surprise. I was originally going to go with Lightning here, but I am changing it so the December character spotlight quick tips will be on 7 for Final Fantasy Type 0, because she does have her LD out on JP, and it's really interesting to, how it works. Now for the January and February, they are both to be determined. Now, I am leaning towards Kefka for the January character spotlight quick tips for the month of January, before the anniversary. And for the month of February, I am totally undecided at this point. I might go with Ash for Final Fantasy 12, but that is a completely up in the air. So the tentative for January is going to be Kefka. Ash is going to be tentative for the month of February. I just don't know yet, and it's anyone's game. So with that, again, this is part 1, and I'm going to be going to the Dissidia Database website to help gather my thoughts for part 2 for this video. So with Wolvie here signing off, I will catch you all on the flip side.